Once again, I am setting out way too late this morning. It is right before 9 o'clock. I basically got distracted trying to get some video and stat stuff done on my phone. So today should be the day I get to the winds proper. There's actually a pass right towards the end of the day, and my nominal goal is going to be to make it up and over that and camp on the far side. And there's my trail. So I had a really big breakfast before leaving the lodge yesterday, so I barely touched my food. Ate some candy, etc., a few bars later in the day. So that should help me have a little bit more of a buffer in case anything happens in the winds. I am fairly confident in my ability to do 22-ish miles a day. However, there's always a chance of a big storm coming up and blocking me before going over a pass. It's not really if there's rain or wind or anything, but if there is lightning in the area, I'm not about to go over some big barren pass. I do have to say that so far in Wyoming, I have really been enjoying the weather. It seems like pretty much every day towards the end of the day, I end up with clouds, thunderstorms, and the occasional bolt of lightning off in the distance, but it hasn't really been anything, worrying or threatening that's made me adjust my schedule. And the rainstorms, they last for 10, 15 minutes. Half the time I'm not even putting on my rain gear. And then, so they cool me down, they knock down the dust from the cattle, and then go away and let everything dry. I have really been appreciating the Ultra Pack because I still have a liner trash bag in there because I'm more of a trust but verify sort of guy. But I haven't been bothering to use it with any of these, little storms or moderate rain days. And so far, the only issue I've seen is a little bit of moisture got in the hydration bladder flaps, which I wish I'd thought to tell them not to include those on the pack because I don't like hydration bladders for a number of reasons, but that's a different TED Talk. And so my fleece got just a little bit wet. My stuff sacks are pretty much all DCF at this point, so even if I get a little moisture in there, I don't have to worry about my sleeping bag or anything else getting wet. The weather has been trending a little bit cooler, and it seems like everybody who's going northbound at this point is really in a rush to try and make it to the border, so they're all doing Super Butte and every shortcut, etc. As far as my badass-ish southbound self, I am a little over a third of the way, assuming redline mileage, which, with the occasional Alton things, I am still in the general vicinity of, redline mile marker mileage. I wish I was a week or two ahead. I was just talking to Zach last night saying, I wish if I was 2 weeks ahead, I would feel really comfortable about where I am and making it through Colorado. So far, I have been reasonably close to my napkin math estimates. That's what I was updating this morning. I've ended up taking, just the single zero in each section. North Montana, South Montana / Idaho, and then now in Wyoming, which that obviously helps. Minimizing town days has kept me moving and kind of helped me counteract the fact that I've had some setbacks as far as how many miles I can make every day. As far as that, my feet have generally been holding up fairly well ever since switching back to the lighter Ultras versus those heavier Keens I tried for a while. The arch issue hasn't returned, and I'm hoping it doesn't, but I'm also realistic that I seem to have a number of issues just crop up over time. At least at the moment, my legs are rock solid, and the thing that is holding me back the most is just chafing around my crotch once I get to the mid-20s. The anti-chafe cream I have hasn't really been helping with that. I am going to try more aggressively kind of washing off at creeks, but I seem to just suffer from skin issues after having been out for a month or two, just constantly soaked in sweat. Is what it is, and trying to wish I was a less problematic individual / better at this doesn't do me any good. So assuming I'm maintaining the pace I have been through this last section, which feels fairly maintainable, that will get me to the southern Colorado border around October 9th, which is a week or two later than I'd prefer, but we'll see. Shorter term goal is I have a week roughly of food to make it through the wind, circle the towers, and down to South Pass City, where I pick up my next package, which should get me across the basin and then into Rawlins, where I'll be swapping shoes. And at that point, Jen and I were actually debating, did I want to go into encampment, which would require a hitch and some extra time, or maybe just try and do another, 6-ish day carry out of Rawlins, and we think I can make it to Steamboat. The periodic blowdowns are sending me along animal trails off into the woods on occasion. So yesterday I did have somebody message me as I was leaving. Another person on trail insinuating I was crazy for not going to Pinedale and some of these other towns. And don't get me wrong, towns are great. I love being able to get a shower, once a week or so. And I feel much better after being able to balance out whatever calorie or vitamin deficits I get on trail by eating real food, salad, etc., etc. But I just got to make my trade-offs. As much as I wish it, I can't magically turn myself into a rock-solid 35-mile-a-day hiker. My body just doesn't seem to be okay with that. So if I want to blow, a day plus, doing the 13 miles out plus a hitch into Pinedale and 13 miles back, time has to come from somewhere. And I'm here to do the trail. I want to do as much of the red line as, humanly possible and feel like I did the CDT proper. So if I had taken some of these big shortcuts in the name of having more time, being able to relax, yeah, it would be easier. Yeah, it would be more pleasant in some ways, but that just isn't my goal out here. Zach and I were commenting yesterday in our admittedly biased manner, having done the section, just how memorable the Idaho-Montana border had been for us, and that we were glad that we had done all of that. Same with, Targhee Pass, which is another one that the majority of folks out here seem to be skipping. And for me, the Butte route versus Anaconda. Again, just spectacular section of trail, some really memorable moments. I do find it somewhat ironic that the attempts to quote unquote finish this trail are basically taking it off direct road routes and going off into the hills on trails. And wherever those are happening, that would appear to be things that many people are skipping. So all the hard work going into making this a complete trail, and the majority of users take one look at that and go, no, I'm going to walk the road instead. And it's not just people wanting to do the easiest thing possible. Zach and I were talking, because we've both done the AT and the PCT, about how just more difficult the weather window is on this. Starting mid-June, you have snow in Glacier going southbound. And from all my research, your best chance at being able to do end-to-end red line is go southbound. And then late September, early October, at some point, things start becoming impassable in southern Colorado. I believe once I get to New Mexico, things should be doable, just cold. But yeah, that's the window versus, he's an AT shuttle driver, and the AT barely has any sort of a weather window. You can basically do that trail in all 4 seasons. Northbound on this trail, yeah, you can start pretty damn early going through the New Mexico desert. But then people get to the San Juans and southern Colorado, and all of a sudden those aren't passable. So either got to skip, do an alt, flip, etc. And once again, my personal preconceived notions of these trails was fairly simplistic. I didn't realize just how different they are and kind of the different skill set and gear that you need between them. Kind of felt like, oh yeah, do the PCT, and then the others are going to be similar-ish, right? And then the weather window, one of the big things that keeps just striking me out here on the CDT is how much less time, well, and how many more blowdowns, but how much less time I have in town. The town stops here have all been frantic trying to get everything done in a limited amount of time, versus I was looking back on some videos from the CTAT and we had a lot more time just kind of goofing around, being in hotels. Part of that was there's so many more towns on the AT, and at any given point, if you're having a bad day, you can get a shuttle driver to take you somewhere. But yeah, this has been much more frantic. So even though I am past the blue line area where that one hiker said they got bluff charged by a grizzly, I have been seeing comments about grizzly tracks and things in the area. I'm kind of thinking that's probably just a factor of all the northbounders getting into grizzly territory and being a little more jumpy. I mean, Taters and I were the first time we went into Glacier too. You know, fingers on the bear spray the entire time, etc. But I actually did have two guys come by and they were all excited, asking if we had seen a grizzly bear. They were going northbound and hoping to see one before the end. The vast majority of bear encounters are benign, where you just see them off in the distance. And it is just damn cool seeing such large, cool creatures around in wilderness. I always try and tell my participants on the Sierra trips, you know, if we have the good fortune of seeing a black bear, you want to be respectful, stay back, etc., etc. But, you know, don't just be so terrified you don't enjoy that cool encounter. Which actually takes some work to get across, because most people's view of bears seems to be like, you know, the land equivalent of Jaws, where the bear is going to catch scent of you from 200 miles away and track you down and hunt you down. Have I mentioned lately how sexy new filters are? Zach couldn't believe how quickly I was filtering water yesterday, since he's had his Sawyer for like 2 months. With water being a lot more available, I'm trying not to carry as much, especially with my pack being heavy for a couple of days. So when I do stop to filter, I try and drink one of these, and I carry about 1/2 to 3/4 of a liter, just because I don't like being out, because I've been on too many trails where water wasn't reliable, I guess. And there's Grand Teton again. Okay, that's more like it. Cross some cow fields to get to the actual mountains. Jen sent me some ramen, so I decided I might as well bring it along, but it's kind of bulky, so lunchtime. Just ran into a cowboy and a whole herd of cattle coming down the road. So this is Union Pass, which, according to something I was looking at that last town, is kind of the official start of the wind section. And yet again, spotty rain. No thunder yet. I was kind of hoping the rain would hold off till I'd filled up water, but oh well. Ouch. Well, that was fun. Probably one of the colder, more involved storms since the Bob. Still got thunder going off pretty much constantly. Okay, about a half mile till Gunsight Pass there. Weather's not great, but I'm gonna run for it. Got a whole herd of elk or something up there. Oh, damn it. So it's 7:40. It's been drizzling on me pretty much non-stop since coming over that path. And it's just really dreary. Anyway, just filled up water for the night. And now I'm looking for the next camp. Unfortunately, this section has been a little bit of slower going thanks to all the blowdowns. Once again, not an ideal camp, but it'll work. Followed an animal trail down to a flattish spot. Everything's kind of a puddle up here with all the rain. So, ready to get dry. Home sweet home for the night.